Welcome back to the Herb Library. Let's open today's page of nature's wisdom. What if I told you that some of the strongest, most powerful bodies in history were built almost entirely without a single bite of meat? No lab, no protein powder, just beans, seeds, and ancient foods your great-grandparents would recognize instantly. Most people have no idea. Today, 10 plant foods that build real, lasting muscle without meat. Foods that will change how you think about protein forever. Food 6 was discovered by accident by Buddhist monks over 1,000 years ago. It packs more protein than most cuts of meat. Food 9 was harvested from a sacred lake by Aztec warriors, fuel for runners who covered days on foot without tiring. Subscribe. We post plant-based strength and old-world nutrition every week. Here are 10 plant foods that build muscle without meat, ranked from useful to legendary. Today's library entry is Food 1, Black Beans, the New World powerhouse hiding in your pantry. Long before grocery stores, black beans kept entire civilizations strong. Paired with corn and squash, they formed a trio so complete it became the backbone of survival across the Americas. Here's what most people miss. 1 cooked cup delivers 15.2 grams of protein and 41 grams of carbs, a combo built for refilling muscle glycogen after a hard workout. They also carry 15 grams of fiber and over 120 milligrams of magnesium, keeping digestion and muscle function running side by side. Most people write them off as a taco side dish. They were the quiet protein backbone of an entire hemisphere. Toss them into rice, blend them into a dip, eat them straight from the pot. This isn't a pantry staple. It's one of the most underrated muscle foods you own. Food 2, chickpeas, the garbanzo that built the ancient Mediterranean. If you've eaten hummus, you've tasted one of the oldest protein traditions in human history. Chickpeas fed the Mediterranean and Middle East for thousands of years, from Egyptian builders to Roman soldiers. Here's why that matters. A cooked cup delivers 14.5 grams of protein and 45 grams of slow-burning carbs, plus 280 micrograms of folate and 480 milligrams of potassium, the mineral your muscles need just to keep contracting during exercise. Roast them for a crunchy snack. Blend them into hummus. Grind them into flour for protein-rich flatbread. For centuries, chickpeas were the everyday protein of the common people. Modern eaters forgot how powerful they are. The ancient world never did. Food 3, lentils, the humble pulse that fed entire civilizations. One of the oldest cultivated foods on the planet. Lentils show up in human settlements, dating back more than 8,000 years, eaten by farmers, soldiers, and royalty alike. Here's what most people miss. A single cooked cup delivers 17.9 grams of protein and over 1,200 milligrams of leucine, the exact amino acid missing from grains. That's why lentils and rice have been paired together for millennia. They also carry the highest folate of any plant food on this list, 358 micrograms per cup, plus 6.6 milligrams of iron to help oxygen reach your working muscles. In the Bible, a man traded his entire birthright for 1 bowl of red lentil stew. That's how prized this food once was. Most people walk past lentils because they seem too plain, too cheap to matter. That was their loss. This isn't a humble bean. It's one of the most reliable muscle foods humanity has ever known. Notice the pattern? Some of the most powerful muscle-building foods on Earth have been hiding in plain sight for thousands of years. Hit like right now. It helps this video reach more people who care about plant-based strength and old-world nutrition. Haven't subscribed? Do that too. We're building something here. Food 4, hemp seeds, the complete protein seed. Our ancestors trusted hemp seeds have been unfairly tangled up in confusion, even though humans have used them for thousands of years. They're a complete protein, 9.5 grams per 30 gram serving, built from 2 easily digestible proteins, edestin and albumin. Here's the surprising part. Over 70% of their calories come from healthy, polyunsaturated fats, with a favorable 2.8 to 1 ratio of omega-6 to omega-3. They're also loaded with magnesium, 210 milligrams per serving, the mineral your muscles need just to contract and relax properly. No cooking required. Sprinkle them over oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, scatter them across a salad. Misunderstanding kept these seeds off American plates for decades. This isn't a topping. It's one of the most complete plant proteins you can buy. Food 5. Pumpkin seeds, the autumn treasure that builds and repairs. Every fall, millions of people carve pumpkins and throw away one of the most valuable muscle foods inside them. Pumpkin seeds have been eaten across the Americas for thousands of years, prized by native peoples long before they became a seasonal afterthought. Here's why that matters. A single ounce delivers 8.5 grams of protein and 678 milligrams of leucine, the amino acid that acts as the trigger switch for muscle growth. They're also loaded with L-arginine, over 5 grams per 100 grams, which your body uses to widen blood vessels and deliver more oxygen to working muscles. Roasted, salted, or scattered over a grain bowl. Endlessly useful. It's a quiet tragedy how many of these get tossed every autumn. Once you understand their power, you'll never throw them away again. Food 6. Seitan, the wheat meat monks discovered. This is the first one I teased at the start. Its history is almost too remarkable to believe. Seitan was reportedly discovered by accident over 1,000 years ago, Buddhist monks searching for a meat-free food. Made from wheat gluten, washed and worked until it becomes dense and chewy, Seitan delivers roughly 25 grams of protein per 100-gram serving. That puts it right up there with many cuts of meat. Here's what makes it extraordinary. It carries an unusually high leucine concentration, around 5.5 grams per 100 grams, making it one of the fastest plant foods on this list at flipping the switch on muscle growth. A quick safety note. Seitan is pure wheat gluten. Anyone with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity should avoid it completely. For everyone else, it's one of the highest protein plant foods you can eat. Not just a meat substitute. 1,000-year-old discovery modern muscle builders are only now catching up to. Food 7. Firm tofu, the ancient soy curd that rivals whey. One of the most surprising entries on this list. Tofu has been made in East Asia for centuries, pressed from coagulated soy milk into a soft, neutral block that absorbs whatever flavor you give it. Here's where things get remarkable. 1 cup of firm tofu delivers 43.5 grams of complete protein and over 3,500 milligrams of leucine, comfortably blowing past the 3-gram threshold your body needs to trigger muscle growth in a single sitting. It's also dense in calcium, over 1,700 milligrams per cup, which plays a direct role in how your muscle fibers contract. For years, the West dismissed tofu as bland and strange, never realizing that blandness is its greatest strength, a blank canvas for whatever marinade or spice you throw at it. This isn't soft white blocks in a tub. It's one of the most proven muscle-building plant foods on Earth. Food 8. Tempeh, the fermented superfood from the islands. If tofu is the gentle cousin, tempeh is the bold, muscular older brother. Born in Indonesia, tempeh is made by fermenting whole soybeans into a firm, nutty cake using a specific fungal culture. Here's what makes it special. Because it uses the whole bean and is fermented, tempeh packs a high leucine density, 2,374 milligrams per cup. Fermentation also breaks down the anti-nutrients that normally block iron and zinc absorption, making its 4.5 milligrams of iron per cup far easier for your body to actually use. Fermentation was quiet genius long before anyone understood the chemistry behind it. Tempeh grills and marinates like a dream, soaking up sauces until it becomes almost anything you want. For generations, this was a daily staple that built strong, hard-working communities. Most people have still never tried it. Once you do, you'll understand why it's earned its place near the top of this list. Food 9. Spirulina, the sacred algae of ancient warriors. This is the second one I teased at the start. Its history is the stuff of legends. Centuries ago, the Aztec harvested this blue-green algae from the surface of Lake Texcoco, scooping it with fine nets, drying it into cakes. Aztec warriors and long-distance runners relied on it for strength and endurance. Here's what makes it extraordinary. Spirulina is one of the most protein-dense foods ever discovered. 58 to 60% protein by dry weight. A single tablespoon delivers 4 grams of complete protein and 346 milligrams of leucine. After the fall of the Aztec world, spirulina nearly vanished from human memory, until researchers rediscovered communities still harvesting it centuries later. A small note of caution: spirulina is potent. Use it in modest amounts, blend it into a smoothie, and choose a trusted source. This isn't pond algae. It's one of the oldest protein foods on the planet. Food 10. Quinoa, the sacred mother grain of the mountains high in the Andes. An ancient people called this seed the mother of all grains. Incan emperors reportedly planted the season's first seeds with golden tools. Here's what most people miss. Quinoa isn't technically a grain, it's a seed, and it's one of the only plant foods on this list with a complete amino acid profile. 8.1 grams of protein and 483 milligrams of leucine per cooked cup. Its leucine density is modest compared to tempeh or spirulina, but its completeness means every gram of protein you absorb goes straight to work. Nothing wasted filling amino acid gaps. When Spanish colonizers arrived, they tried to suppress it in favor of their own grains. For centuries, it survived only in remote mountain villages. We're only now catching up to what those villages always knew. Not just a trendy grain bowl ingredient. 1,000-year-old survival food modern athletes are only just rediscovering. If you made it to the end, you now know something most people miss. You don't need meat to build a strong, capable, muscular body. You never did. For thousands of years, warriors, farmers, monks, and entire civilizations grew strong on beans, seeds, fermented soy, and ancient grains that cost almost nothing and grew almost everywhere. These aren't just old stories. They're useful, powerful, and worth rediscovering. Smash that like button if this changed how you think about protein and muscle. Drop a comment. Which food surprised you most? Monks discovering Seitan, Aztec warriors running on spirulina, or tofu out-leucining a protein shake? Team Lentils, Team Tempeh, or Team Spirulina? Haven't subscribed? Hit that button. Ring the bell. Never miss a video. Some of the best answers to modern problems are still growing, sprouting, and waiting in the old wisdom our ancestors never forgot. If you're enjoying these library entries, subscribe and become part of our growing library of herbal learners. The herb library is now closed until our next library entry. Stay curious, stay informed, and let nature be your teacher.